Coming up on this edition of the Joint Podcast.
I remember Muhammad Ali said, I'm not going over there and fight those Viet Cong. They haven't done anything.
That's right.
Why should I go?
Exactly. He sure did say that. Yes, he did.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, but it just seems to be part of our core. We fight over race. Mm-hmm. We fight over religion. Mm-hmm. We fight over...
At the intersection of logic and truth, this is the logical lawyer, and it's that part. Exploring legal, social, and cultural issues with insight, clarity, and purpose. Truth and logic, sharp and clear. Insight and hope, we bring it here. Where truth meets logic and action. It's the logical lawyer, and it's that part.
Welcome to the Talk of the Times, a joint production of The Logical Lawyer with host Bernie Brown and the It's That Part podcast, hosted by yours truly, Jesse Lee Hammonds. And although we approach the various items and persons of interest from different backgrounds professionally, Bernie being a prosecutor and former Los Angeles, California assistant city attorney, as well as a Hall of Fame member of the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles, just to name a couple of headliners, and me, a longtime former manager of human resources and corporate assets at the Fortune 500 company AT&T, and former radio and international club jock, we have a shared commitment to clarity, logic, lawfulness, relevance, as well as truth in every fact, all brought together with real conversations amongst ourselves and with others about the times in which we have and currently live. It's the Talk of the Times.
Happy
Sunday, my brother.
Logical lawyer. Are
Yes,
we
sir.
also here with that part, or are we just with the logical lawyer today?
We're both.
We are.
This is a joint
venture.
episode. Yes, sir. The logical lawyer, and it's that part.
All right. Well, we've got a great program for today. We've got some excellent analysis. We've got some really serious stuff going on. I mean, where should we start? Should we start on the war and an analysis of war, the core of war, different pundits, shall we say, have analyzed exactly what's going on with the war. And they'll give you the day-by-day analysis of what's happening with the war.
Right.
But, I thought we might take it from a different perspective.
Okay.
And look at the core of war.
The core of war. Okay.
The core emotions that create war.
Yes.
The core of war and conflict. I mean, it's one of these things you ask yourself, are we going to be in war forever? Is mankind going to be fighting and at war with each other throughout all eternity? I mean, the Bible does say there will be wars and rumors of wars, but
that's in Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew. Is there no way to stop this syndrome? Is it part of our very nature? Can we do anything, man?
On that point right there, and they're kind of loosely connected. It's the other scripture that's in 2 Chronicles, I believe. Something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, if my people called by my name would turn from their wicked ways, they'd hear from heaven. But mankind has a proclivity of being wicked.
I mean, it's built into our very core and into our very essence. And the terrible thing is that women and children and innocent people get killed.
It's that part.
In the crossfires.
It's that part.
It becomes an issue of what can we do to stop this? And, as I've mentioned in prior episodes, and many great scientists, and they all share the position that World War III will be the last war. So
well, that's true.
That's the end of all.
I mean, if it's Armageddon, let's put it like this: if it happens over there in the Valley of Megiddo, then yes, I don't think we're going to be there. I don't think we're going to be here to see that, Brother Bernie, because I don't think this one is it either. By the way.
Okay, I hope you're right. I mean, all these wars have the potential for escalation.
Yes.
What's so frightening is that at any point they can just spiral out of control, and then the next thing you know, you're looking at the possibility of nuclear war among major nations. And I've spoken on that. We've spoken on that before.
Mm-hmm.
In our podcast about the last threat to mankind. It's not aliens. It's not starvation or disease. The last threat, or the main threat to our existence, is ourselves.
Exactly.
Because nuclear holocaust, wholesale nuclear war, is virtually the end of mankind as we know it.
That's it.
95% of the population will die.
Because
and those that are left living will be living like Stone Age people.
There have been movies about that. Mad Max and all of that. Yes.
There's a series about it.
The Matrix,
Yes, the Matrix, right.
War is often explained in strategic language. Security, deterrence, national interest, regional balance, preemption, defensive posture, and the red lines. And I think we talked about it once before. We can take that all the way back. And this is to your point of the emotional core there. Take it all the way back to Cain and Abel.
Yeah. Beginning of time.
That's what happened there, and that's a whole nother discussion as well. But what points do you have on that as far as the court?
When I talk about a war being part of our emotional core, there are certain emotions that we have that are part of our nature that lead to war. Hate.
Right.
We
fear.
Hate others. Fear. Insecurity.
Grievance.
Yeah. Ideology.
Ooh.
You agree with me or you die.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Territorialism. Man, this is my territory. I'm going to take it over.
How about this? Colonialism.
Oh, that's a sore one.
Yeah.
That one hits close to home.
Oh, yes, it does. Exactly. That's exactly right there.
We've got all these emotions: protectionism, aggression, insecurity, anger. People getting mad at other people.
Envy.
Yes, envy. We got to fight. It's terrible.
Yes, it is.
Need for domination.
Yep.
And it's amazing how we declare certain groups as common enemies. We create these enemies on the other side so that we can solidify on our side. We're against them, so you got to be on our side and fight against them.
I was having a conversation with the Queen the other day about we have a son-in-law who's in the Army, and I was sharing with her my thought that he's a good guy and everything, and there are some people that are in the military that are seriously down with this everything,
Okay.
And then there are a lot of them that are like, I didn't really sign up for this. I'm trying to get through school or whatever, see the world. And in order to get them, and this is from the perspective of a person that's a veteran, in order to get people motivated to go and kill somebody else,
yes,
unfortunately, they have to villainize the object or the principles over there.
Yes.
And they drill down on that. And any opposition to that, you're weak, and you could catch a stray. And so the men and women that are in this fight over there, many of them are reluctant, but they've been being piped in. They've been IV'd with this hate towards people that have done nothing to them.
Yes. Yes. I remember Muhammad Ali said, I'm not going over there and fight those Viet Cong. They haven't done anything.
That's right.
Why should I go?
Exactly. He sure did say that. Yes, he did.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, but it just seems to be part of our core. We fight over race. Mm-hmm. We fight over religion. Mm-hmm. We fight over ethnicity. We fight over territory. I mean, it's like we get angry. We want to have a conflict,
And nobody wants to back down. No one wants to yield or compromise or anything like that. Because if you compromise, you're weak.
You're weak.
You're supposed to, and of course, in certain settings, hey, you've got to go in. And if you're a prosecutor, you can speak to this directly. You're a prosecutor. You go into a courtroom. You're not going in there to compromise. That's done outside this trial here. If there's no plea deal reached, then hey, it's on and cracking now.
And I must admit it, I loved it.
I know. And see, and that right there, that's the essence of those servicemen and women. That's where they get to. That's the level that they get to go over there and just do it, without even thinking about it.
Oh man, I love the battle.
Yeah, many do.
It's terrible.
But in your case though, you're prosecuting something that has something to do with law.
Yes.
Law and order. Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, my opinion, this is something totally different than that.
I hope so. Well, I don't hope so. I agree with you. I think so too. Yeah. It would be great if we could change our human nature. Wouldn't it be great if we could just all love one another and can we all get along, as Rodney King said?
Not this side of heaven. And we just passed that anniversary, by the way, of the Rodney King beating a couple weeks ago there. No, not this side of heaven. We're not going to get there.
We can't change our core personality. A logical analysis leads to that conclusion. Mm-hmm. I mean, theoretically, if we all just logically just said, okay, we're going to change our personality. We're going to be loving and understanding and empathetic and compromising. We're going to discuss things and try to work them out. And we're not going to hate other people. We're going to build relationships and build friendship and work together to bring about peace and compromise. Doesn't that sound, do I need a violin kind of like
or a beat
playing in the background?
Oh, those are bars right there.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it's not enough for one side to win. They go further than that. I mentioned the colonists or a colonization. They couldn't just settle for the land that they had. They had to go west and continue to conquer, and and thus and the same for overseas. The biblical days full of stories about wars, and even the rumors of it. But they had to fight for their lands or whatever, and in order to establish themselves. Mm-hmm. And so, to your point again, to that main point there, it's a core. It's a core issue.
A core of our personalities, of our emotional framework. It's unfortunate. And now here we go. You see it every day. Now we see it with Iran. We've seen it with the Ukraine. I mean, look at that whole Iran thing. I mean,
And it's interesting. Iran, they're they're not choir boys and girls, Boy Scouts and whatnot. They've been sponsors of a whole lot of, mayhem over the decades there.
There's plenty hatred there.
Plenty. In fact, I think I mentioned to you in probably a text or whatever last week that they were one of, if not the country that held on to that African slave market there the longest, up into the 1920s, selling people, Africans.
They have what we call unclean hands. Huh?
Ooh, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing has the potential to escalate out of control. But we see everything that we're talking about here today with regard to the emotionalities of the entire conflict, the hatred between the people, which goes back quite a ways back. The religious ideologies at combat with each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, a while back, it wasn't that long ago, that Iran declared the Israel to be, during the Islamic Revolution, mm-hmm. They adopted an anti-Zionistic view and called Israel the little Satan. Division between people and based on religion, based on ethnicity mm-hmm. and hatred. And there right is these emotions that are flying and leading to wars. And then the amazing thing is you think, well, wait a minute. The Iranian people, they are bombing their Arab neighbors who are also Muslims. Mm-hmm. So what's going on with that? And there's a division there too.
Yep, there is.
Ethnicity. Because they're not the same. They're both Muslim, but
one is Sunni and one is Shia.
Yeah, and one speaks Arabic.
Right, that was right there. That was right.
And the other group speaks Farsi. So the Iranians, they have this ethnic division mm-hmm. that causes them to, or leads to, basically the war. And so now they're bombing their own Muslim, should we say, brothers and sisters, but because they disagree with them and because apparently Arab supports the U.S. in many ways, mm-hmm. and the U.S. supports Israel. So now you got all these other countries potentially drawn into the conflict. And then now you have Russia supporting Iran mm-hmm. by giving them intelligence on sites where they can hit these certain sites, mm-hmm. American sites. And then China is kind of standing on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. They're just watching and watching everybody fulfill biblical prophecy.
Biblical prophecy. Yes.
Biblical prophecy.
About that the other day.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying that the United States, I was like, wait a minute, how's the United States in biblical prophecy? And he was trying to explain that to me. But I'm not sure that I was really getting it. But
what was his position on that?
Well, he was saying that we would be the country that would start the he's a conspiracy theorist.
Sure.
That would basically start this whole escalation that will lead to Armageddon and the last war and, the whole thing, saying that the U.S. is actually, he gave it another name, and I forget, that we were under the scriptures, we're some other country.
Oh, those guys.
And that we are going to start this whole thing and escalate it into the last war.
He needs to go read his Bible a little bit more, and maybe dig a little deeper there, because we're not even in that.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, well, can you show me the specific scriptures that you're referring to?
Yeah.
And he's like a politician on that.
Of course. He'll pivot.
Yeah. No, you have to consider this, blah, blah, but he never really answers that question.
No, he can't, because he can't. Many have tried to bend it like that, but, it's just not in the scripture. I mean, if it were so, it would be there.
Yeah.
As far as prophecy goes.
Right.
I mean, there will be many things leading up to that, and yeah, sure, we might play some roles in that, but biblically, we're not involved with that. We're not around, as a matter of fact. Right. Our country is headed to wherever right now. We might not be there. I mean, the democracy that we once knew is not. It's not here now. We don't have that. We still have the Constitution. We still have laws and all of that. But man, it's not like it was when you were going through law school, which was a whole different time as well. Because many of us were just getting rights. They were fresh. So it's just really, and that's kind of a case in point there. We're going backwards in a lot of ways here, so, we might not even be in existence at that time. Well, that's at least one point of view there.
Well, it's amazing, these wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for instance, the war we're talking about now, Iran.
Yeah, right.
It's a war over oil.
Right.
Over money, over power. There is territorialism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's economic disruption, it's ideology, it's all of it thrown in the mix.
Along with ancient grievances. Because both Iran and Israel, or the Muslims and the Jews, have the same patriarch, in their bloodline.
Isn't that something?
Abraham. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. And because of the fact that Ishmael wasn't, the chosen one per se, opposed to Isaac, and they were him and his wife, his mother, were kicked out by Abraham's wife. She's got to go after she gave him permission to go into her, and produce this mess. They've been at it ever since.
Family feud.
And that's the talk of the times. On behalf of the co-host Bernie Brown, we thank you for listening, and we hope it compels you into action or triggers some mindful thought about the times in which we live. We also invite you to check out The Logical Lawyer, Bernie Brown, and the It's That Part podcast with yours truly, Jesse Lee Hammonds, wherever you listen to your podcast. And for even more Bernie, check out his book on Amazon, A Prosecutor's Analysis of Personal Supernatural Experiences, which is a collection of fascinating stories awaiting your verdict of fact, fiction, fabrication, or fantasy. You decide. You can also connect with Bernie on his website, thelogicalattorney.me. That's thelogicalattorney.me, and connect with me at itsthatpart.com, where you can also access both podcasts. And now you've got it. It's the talk of the times.
At the intersection of logic and truth, this is The Logical Lawyer, and it's that part. Exploring legal, social, and cultural issues with insight, clarity, and purpose. Truth and logic, sharp and clear. Insight and hope, we bring it here. Where truth meets logic in action.